to be talking about Trinidad and Tobago, where the government says it's moving full speed ahead with new legislation on foreign exchange. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has confirmed that a bill is already being drafted and it's expected to reach Parliament this year. But this isn't just any bill. She says it will expose what she calls forex cartels and shine a light on how the country's banks have been handling or mishandling foreign exchange. Let's get into this. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar said that the new law will force the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago to disclose publicly how foreign exchange is being allocated. According to her, this will reveal how small and medium-sized businesses have been squeezed out, while wealth has also been concentrated in the hands of a few big players. When pressed about timing, the Prime Minister's answer was clear. This year, we are already working on it.
So what the policy is stating, for those of you who do not know, is the fact that if you are not authorized by CBTT, which is the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, you are not allowed to purchase or sell US currency within Trinidad and Tobago.
The question is, how much will this legislation really reveal? The PM said the law is aimed squarely at public transparency and accountability. But here's where it gets complicated. Section 56 of the Trinidad and Tobago Central Bank Act is all about secrecy. It prohibits the disclosure of information about the bank's business, its institutions, and its customers. That very section is what led to controversy years ago when former central bank governor Wala Rambaran publicly named the largest foreign exchange users. Critics argued they accused him of breaking the laws and the duty of secrecy.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar vows to expose the forex cartel within Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has heavily criticized the Trinidad and Tobago forex system, blaming commercial banks for acting like cartels and giving preferential treatment to certain players to get access to foreign exchange. She also argues that the Exim Bank has failed in its mandate to fairly distribute forex, pointing to data showing that a handful of large companies within the Trinidad and Tobago economy, especially pharmaceutical and poultry companies, is receiving a bulk of the allocation. She says that between 2020 and 2025, the Exim Bank has distributed over 1.4 billion US dollars. This 1.4 billion was distributed to 123 companies, with companies like Nutrimix, which makes animal feed, Arawak, which we know as a chicken poultry company, and also Smith & Robertson, which does distribution of a various vast amount of goods, receiving hundreds of millions of dollars from the allocation.
So, will this new legislation clash with the Central Bank Act? Well, Attorney General John Jeremy says no. He told The Guardian that the act reflects a policy position, but Parliament always has the authority to change policy and legislate new rules. In other words, the government has the power to rewrite the rules of the game, and that is exactly what they are doing.
Card holders in Trinidad and Tobago have complained about their cards being declined when attempting to make purchases overseas. Many describe it as a lottery, not knowing maybe the purchase will go through, maybe the purchase won't. The commercial banks have responded to the uproar by explaining that there's now a monthly US dollar spending limit on their cards for persons shopping overseas or online. Scotiabank completely ceased point-of-sale and online purchases for debit card users.
Prime Minister isn't pulling any punches either. She blasted Exim Bank, the state's export-import bank, saying it has failed to function properly and fairly. Data shows that from 2020 to mid-2025, the Exim Bank distributed over 1.4 billion in foreign exchange to just 123 companies. Pharmaceutical and poultry firms took the lion's share. And earlier this month, Central Bank Governor Larry revealed that the Exim Bank received 600 million US dollars. That's about 27% of the bank's total foreign exchange intervention. And well, let's just say that back in May, Persad-Bissessar promised that her government would prepare a report on forex allocation and leakages over the past 10 years. That's a whole decade. And that the findings would also be made public. So that promise, paired with this new bill, signals the government is ready to confront an issue that has long fueled frustration among businesses and citizens alike.
We cannot carve up what is not available. With regards to the allocation of foreign exchange, they have the corporate channels from SME straight up. You also look at the personal levels. You have walk-in, you have call-in clients, and it's really a function of availability. Education, healthcare, travel, that's on the personal side of things. Sure. And then on the business, you look at medical aspects, you look at your importers, and you fracture it along those lines.
As expected, not everyone agrees with the Prime Minister's take. Governor Hawaii has said that there is no evidence of a forex cartel. But the PM, however, insists that the evidence will come to light in due course. She reaffirmed her confidence in Hawaii, but praising him a bit, that his performance since becoming governor was good. But she also made clear that the current system cannot remain hidden behind secrecy. As we've been reporting in recent weeks, Washington has deployed stealth fighter jets to Puerto Rico and expanded naval patrols in the Southern Caribbean. The president announced strikes on Venezuelan vessels. He said that were carrying massive amount of drugs. For Washington, drug cartels represent a threat to national security. For Trinidad, they are saying that forex cartels represent a threat to economic fairness. Different arenas, yes, but the common thread is powerful hidden networks being accused of undermining the systems. So here's the big question. With the US cracking down on cartels in the Caribbean by force and Trinidad and Tobago moving to expose cartels at home through legislation, are we watching the region step into a new era of transparency and confrontation? Or will secrecy, politics, and entrenched interests continue to shield the big players, whether in drugs or in dollars? Well, we'll keep following the story. Until next time, stay connected.